So at 2:26 in the morning, LeBron James decided to drop the most cryptic banger all season long. Something light, but very meaningful. An hourglass telling people that someone's time is up, dog. And what's crazy is even though it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm recording this at like almost 4 o'clock in the morning, it has been keeping the NBA streets up because everybody's trying to figure out what exactly does that mean? What exactly is going on? But for real, Laker fans, you've been watching this team, you know what's going on. So, of course, many people believe that the tweet belongs to Darvin Ham for several different reasons. If you've been watching the Lakers over the past couple of weeks, it has been really, really hard to watch the level of inconsistencies. The team is still losing, hovering around 500, but defensively, and that's probably the most pertinent aspect of this, the calling card for what this team has been, the whole reason why Darvin Ham probably still has his job is that on the defensive side of the floor, this team has been slipping immensely. They've allowed over 130 points in 4 out of the last 5 games, and you can definitely see the effort is certainly questionable. Body language is also questionable on and off the floor, and a lot of people are pointing fingers at Darvin Ham, and this tweet definitely sent it over the top. Now, for people out there who believe that I'm just overreacting and that's not what this tweet means, you're reading way too much into it, please let me further reveal even more information because it's obvious. It's the signs are all over the walls and people who aren't really tapped in, you're just missing it. So walk with me for a second down the timeline because there's a lot to talk about here. So first, the body language. A couple of games ago, we saw D'Angelo Russell literally crying on the sideline. And then also, Rui Hachimura didn't seem so chipper either going down the tunnel. A lot of people just assumed, however, the reason why their body language wasn't that great because it was going to translate to them potentially getting traded. And understandably so, a lot of players, they want to play for the Lakers, so why would I want to get traded? Especially when you're D-Lo and you're on a burner recently. However, recently, there's even been more questionable body language, and these are coming from players that we all know aren't going to be traded in both LeBron and Anthony Davis. First, we have a video of LeBron literally side-eyeing Darvin Ham on the sideline. And for people out there who think that maybe I'm just dragging it a little bit too much, probably the most damning clip is a clip where Anthony Davis literally is sitting down, sees Darvin Ham sit in front of him, looks at the clipboard and sees what Darvin Ham is writing down, literally rolls his eyes, stands up, and walks out of the huddle. Like in that clip, you can clearly see AD is not even trying to make eye contact with Darvin. He's clearly annoyed. And just walking out of the huddle is definitely signs of someone who is completely over it. Then we have the assistant head coach and Phil Handy potentially sending some subliminal shots towards Darvin Ham as well, because like a lot of people have been questioning Darvin Ham's coaching style and the way that he approaches certain players, in particular with the inconsistent lineups and just giving up on some of the young players without coaching them properly. And Phil Handy decided to make sure he put this on his Instagram story.
I love coaches that resist the responsibility of coaches, that talk negatively about a dude that can't learn and blah, blah. Man, if everybody could learn, we need less coaches. Yeah. I don't run away from coaching. I run to coaching.
And then we have even more comments from some of the players. Rui was asked the question, what's going on with the defense recently, especially how bad it's been. His response has been communication. And then when that question was prompted to LeBron, his answer was essentially, the reason why we can't communicate is because we don't even know what we're supposed to be doing on the floor defensively because everyone isn't on the same page, which is potentially alluding to the lack of coaching because everyone isn't receiving the same directions.
You gotta communicate. You gotta know what we're doing out on the floor, first of all. And then when you make adjustments throughout the game, you got to know when the adjustments is made so everybody's on the same page. So everybody needs to be in tune with what we're doing so there's no mishaps. And then sometimes there will be mishaps. You got to cover for one another. So, you know, the game ain't just, it's not just X's and O's. It's also being able to, you know, do things on the fly as well. Things break down or, you know, the game presents different challenges.
What's possibly the most damning and telling situation are the constant conversations around the lineups. Darvin Ham has been consistently being criticized about the players and the lineups that he puts out on the floor for really the last 2 years now, dating back when he would put Russell Westbrook on the floor with a bunch of other non-floor spacers. And so far this season, he is falling in love with the concept of starting Cam Reddish, who is on path to be a career journeyman, and continue to give Taurean Prince starter minutes. Be very mindful that Taurean Prince was not a consistent starter leading up to this season. Quite frankly, in recent years, Taurean Prince has been coming off the bench. So it's not that crazy for him to come off the bench on this team especially when you have a lineup that works. But what's even more mind-blowing is that when Darvin Ham does run those lineups, it is giving you irrefutable evidence to why you should play it, such as the double overtime thriller with the Golden State Warriors, where the Lakers were able to pull out a victory of 145 to 144. Be very mindful, that is a 1-point margin. 1 point. Yet when Taurean Prince was on the floor, his plus minus was minus 22. Minus 22. Then when you look at Vando, when he was on the floor, his plus minus was plus 30. Plus 30 in contrast to minus 22. Do you know how ridiculous it is to have that much of a significant swing in a game that was won by only 1 point? That's ridiculous. But wait, it gets worse. The lineup that is in question, again, D'Lo, Reeves, Vando, AD, and Braun, the same lineup that, once more, led them to the conference finals. From the beginning of the season to December 16th, that lineup played a grand total of 4 minutes. 4. To be fair, Vando was not available for the first 20 games of the regular season, but 4 minutes, Darvin? Just 4? Now you may be asking yourself, well, since December 16th and now when Vando's 100% healthy and he seems really, really good, how many more minutes have they been playing of that lineup? From 4 minutes to only 28. And within those 28 minutes, when the Lakers run that lineup, they have a net rating of 38.7. A net rating of 38.7. And when they do run that lineup, the Lakers have an offensive rating of nearly 131 with a defensive rating of 92, which leaves them with a net rating of almost 40. Darvin, how much more evidence do you need to play that lineup? So we have a team that is woefully struggling, a team that doesn't understand defensive assignments, a team that has inconsistent lineups, inconsistent rotations, and a team that, for whatever reason, has a formula that has won them playoff series, led them to the conference finals, and instead of going back to that lineup, the head coach has decided to do everything else. Interesting. If there are people out there who are trying to figure out, well, why does he keep starting Taurean Prince? For those who do not know, and this is me just throwing it out there, it seems as if like Darvin is giving some type of favoritism towards Taurean Prince, and I believe the reason for that is because when Ham was coaching back in Atlanta under Mike Budenholzer, Taurean Prince was also in Atlanta. And for those who thinks, maybe I'm reaching, a lot of people ask the same question to why Darvin Ham was giving so many minutes to Dennis Schroeder last season. And I don't think it's a coincidence whatsoever that when he was again coaching in Atlanta, who was the point guard for the Hawks at that time? Dennis Schroeder. He's literally just putting players into positions because he feels comfortable with them, despite the fact that there is irrefutable evidence pointing to the fact that he should be playing other lineups. But hey, that's just my thoughts. But what I do know is this. When LeBron puts a tweet out like that, when we have irrefutable evidence of players on the sideline looking at Darvin Ham very questionable, players with really bad body language, players with very bad effort defensively over the past couple of games and complaining about communication, complaining about lineups and rotations, and we have irrefutable evidence that there are certain lineups that need to be ran and it's not, that is a coach problem. People can argue back and forth about what LeBron can do, what AD can do, what Reeves supposed to do. Oh, look how great D'Lo looks. He should be getting more touches. We can go back and forth about that all the time. We can go back and forth about the effort, the execution. But some of this stuff is just coaching. LeBron cannot put out lineups. LeBron cannot make rotations. LeBron cannot literally communicate to everyone defensively every single night. That is literally the job of the coach. So when we have evidence like this and it's getting this bad, and the Lakers are still losing, and defensively they're sliding immensely, and then LeBron puts out a tweet like this, it's time. But yo, let me know what y'all thoughts in the comment section below the tweet that was heard around the NBA community. Let me know if y'all believe that it is true that Darvin Ham's going to lose his job, or maybe LeBron is talking about potentially parting ways with the Lakers, or maybe LeBron is talking about certain players being traded away. Who knows? But let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and until next time, I'll see you all later. Peace.